All right, I'm here with some students to help us out and knock out our science review, our final review for our final test in weather, although we'll be seeing more of weather as we continue to review as the year goes along. And we're going to kind of look at how we need to analyze, think about, and go through some of the questions. And so question number one, which will most likely result from a low pressure weather system? Now, I already see that low pressure. So tell me, what do I know when I see the word low pressure?
Lousy.
Okay, so let's describe that, because if we just put lousy, we might forget. That's our little hint. What does that mean when I think lousy?
Storms.
Maybe storms. What else could I see?
Hot.
It could be, yeah, low pressure is going to be warm and humid.
Yeah,
All right, well, that's because the thing is all fair. So let's think about that. What will most likely result? So you said it's warm, so that's a possible answer, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, so that's a maybe. Cloudy.
Yes, because there's storms.
Okay.
Like what type of clouds? It could be cirrus clouds, and that means fair weather.
Maybe, but it does. I mean, I'm thinking when they're thinking cloudy, like
Stratus
more
clouds.
clouds. Could be a lot of different clouds. That's a maybe. Clear condition.
No.
That one's definitely not it.
No.
Cool temperatures.
No, because that's a high pressure system.
That's a high pressure system. So now I have to figure out which one of these will most likely result from a low pressure weather system. What do you think makes the most sense?
Cloudy conditions. Yeah.
Could a low pressure system go through during the winter?
Yes.
Yeah, it could. And then it would bring clouds and then possibly even snow. So just because it's a low pressure system doesn't always mean
It's rain.
that it's warm in a general sense of like 70 or 80 degrees. It means it's warmer than the temperatures that we're experiencing. So your best answer is cloudy conditions. Cloudy conditions. Oh, there we go. The weather forecast indicates that a warm front will be moving into the area in the next 24 hours. What type of weather will most likely happen? So I'm looking here at warm front. What do we know about warm fronts?
Well, if there's a cool front in front of it, then it's going to form a low, like, not very fast raining
So
system. Like
Slow
so
rain, like a drizzle or something.
Yeah.
Like sprinkles.
it's like slow rain,
with stratus clouds.
possibly some stratus clouds. Okay, we know that a warm front's moving through, so this we actually know it's going to get warmer.
Yeah.
The temps. Notice that we haven't even looked at the answers yet, right? That's something that we typically do, and we analyze what we know first, then look at the answers. And sometimes that saves us from double guessing or second guessing ourselves and forgetting things that we already really know. Now, what a warm front calls clear skies and cold temperatures.
No.
Neither one of those makes sense because almost every front we talked about has some kind of precipitation.
If it's a warm front, it's obviously going to be
Clear skies and hot temperatures. I'm going to knock that one out because of the clear skies thing.
Yeah.
Cloudy skies, rainy weather. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Heavy snow and ice.
No.
Now, you
No.
said slow. I think someone even said maybe even light rain, just sprinkling, drizzling. So now I've got a choice of heavy snow and ice, which is a form of precipitation, or cloudy skies and rainy weather.
Cloudy skies, rain.
More than likely, it's going to be this one right here. Most likely, it's this one. And those clouds are probably going to be like your stratus clouds.
In a warm front, it's most likely going to be rain, not like
Could be if the temperatures outside were.
and it's warm, so like really
Cold,
cold,
really
but
cold,
then it
yeah.
has to be like cold.
No, I definitely do not want to do that. I think I deleted the page.
Well, Mr. B messed up again.
All right. On a cold, cloudy day, the local forecaster predicts that a high-pressure system is moving into the area in the next 24 hours. So I have a high-pressure system. What can you tell me about high-pressure systems?
weather, and it's usually cooler.
We remember by saying happy.
Happy, yeah.
Fair weather. Now, the one thing that people do get mixed up that you got corrected is typically cooler. That H that you see on the news
Cooler.
is always blue, and that is why. So, what weather conditions will we most likely see? Stormy? Does it make sense? Sunny?
Yes.
Sounds good.
Maybe.
Snowy?
No.
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 Hot?
No, because it's cooler.
You specifically said cooler. Well, that only leaves one answer. So are you seeing how writing what you know about each answer? Maybe you've done this during a memory dump. Maybe you do this as you interact with each question. Maybe you do both of those. But that's kind of the way that I would go through and analyze those different types of questions. Which correctly compares low and high pressure systems. Now I'm going to use what you already told me. And I'm just going to write our little trick there. Low is lousy. High is happy. A low pressure system usually brings cool, dry air and clear skies, while a high pressure system brings cloud and precipitation. Well, you've got low and it's telling me clear skies. It's also telling me cool and dry air. Well, we know that that's incorrect. And high pressure, bringing clouds and precipitation, is the opposite of happy weather.
It would be right if they switched those around.
If they switch those around.
Yeah.
A low pressure system usually brings clouds and precipitation. I'm liking that.
Mhm.
While a high pressure system brings cool air, cool dry air, and clear skies.
Yes.
I'm digging
I
this one.
really-
Yeah, that's a really good answer.
Pretty sure that's the answer. This other one's
Yeah.
going to have to be really good to not be. A low pressure system brings warm, dry air and clear skies.
No. That's
Well,
the same thing as the first one.
It does bring warm air, but it's not dry air, and it doesn't bring clear skies. While a high pressure system brings warm, moist air and precipitation. And we know, yes, sorry, Claire, and not that one. So our answer is B.
B.
I mean, I like the way he said if they switch those, and then in the next answer they actually switch those around. All right, some weather conditions are shown. A cold front moving in behind warm, moist air. We already know that we're going to see what? More than likely, when a cold air moves in behind a warm front.
Like when the warm front gets trapped in between the
Now, it
two
doesn't say
fronts.
trapped, it says a cold front coming in behind it.
If it hits it really hard, it could possibly form a tornado.
But we know it's probably going to have a storm,
Storm,
right? Of
yes.
some sort.
Yep.
Heavy winds. That sounds like a storm, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sudden hail. All right, now we're going from just a storm to
Like, huge.
pretty serious storm, right? And now we're getting unstable atmosphere, meaning that the pressures in the atmosphere are extremely unstable. Now, what happens when there's great differences in pressure?
Winds.
Higher winds. This means we're going to have some high winds. Now I've got a storm that has high winds, and I promise you there's an I in there somewhere. Hail. Is that a blizzard?
No, blizzards usually bring
That doesn't.
Heavy snow.
Yeah, doesn't. No hail in a blizzard.
No.
A hurricane. Why is this probably not a hurricane?
Because hurricanes bring rain, not snow or hail.
Typically don't have hail. A tornado.
Maybe because the wind.
Maybe.
And it
A drought.
No.
If I have a cold front moving in, we know it's going to
rain.
rain. That's the opposite of a drought. Your answer is
tornado.
probably a tornado.
Yeah, before the thing I accidentally looked at the answers.
It's all good. Here we go. This diagram shows a weather map. Which city is most likely to experience this cold front? Whoops. Remember, my pen is a little off. Sorry about that. That cold front first. Who's more than likely going to see that first? What do you think?
B.
Do you think Dayton? Why would Dayton get it first?
Because it's the closest.
Okay, and what else? What do you know about weather systems, fronts, and most other things? How do they move?
Ooh.
Thanks to those prevailing westerlies.
Oh, Westies.
Yeah, they move. And if you take and draw your compass, which I would recommend doing on the test, it's going to move in this direction. Absolutely. Dayton is going to be the first person to get that.
Like, in the arrows in the cold front, like, if those are pointing that way, is that where that cold front's going to
Moving
go?
that way. Yeah. All right. Chart below shows data collected by Julie over the past week. Which weather conditions would most likely occur over the weekend if the pattern continues? So we have Monday. It's 85, and there's cumulus clouds. What do we already know about Monday? Tell me about Monday. 85 and cumulus.
It's pretty warm. Or a
It's a nice day, though, isn't it?
fair
I mean,
weather.
that's a nice day. It's fair outside. It's nice. It's not super hot, not super cold. It's getting closer to the hotter days. That's a fair weather day. Cumulus clouds mean fair weather. Now, I've noticed that my temperature has gone down some, and there's mostly cumulus clouds around. Oops, I went on too far with that one. What could possibly be happening that would cause my temperatures to go down and have mostly cumulus, like maybe a mix of clouds? What could be happening right now?
Maybe like a light period of rain, but not like
Maybe.
heavy.
Well, that would say something about rain. What's happening? Notice that my temperature
It's dropping.
has dropped, and I'm starting to get
Oh.
even more clouds. Could be a cold front moving in. Let's look and find out. I go from this day to the next day, and my temperature goes down even more. And now I don't have cumulus, just cumulus. I have some cumulonimbus. That means what? That means a storm. Temperature drops, and I have a storm. Is that a possibility that a cold front's probably moved in?
Yes.
So now I've got storms. I'm going to go ahead and look ahead and notice that for the rest of these days there's storms too. And my temperature continues to go down and continue to go down. Sounds like a cold front's moved into the area. We've got some storms. What do you think is going to happen over this weekend if this pattern continues? Do you think it's going to be dry and warm over the weekend?
No.
That doesn't sound right. Dry and cool.
No.
No.
Because cumulonimbus are like they bring
Cumulonimbus.
storms and like rain.
Most likely, I would have to assume because it says what pattern, I think it's probably going to be
Would it
wet
say
and
something
cool.
else than a pattern?
It would have to be something else. If it said something like, and a warm front's coming behind it so that you could change things, or a high pressure system is moving in before it would change things. 3 cities in North Carolina collected weather data for the same day in December of last year. I swear to you, this is like the 5th time we've seen this
Yeah.
question. If this is on the
Yes.
test and you miss it, I don't even know what to say. In which city most likely had snow on the day this data was collected? Now, we know that everyone had precipitation that day because it says so here. Precipitation can be rain or snow.
But
Now, what's going to make us have rain versus snow?
you're gonna have snow if the temperatures are below 32 degrees.
All right, so if we've got
That's freezing point of water.
32 and lower, I'm going to have snow. If it's, let's say, I don't know,
33.
maybe 36 degrees and higher, that little buffer in there, I mean, you can have sleet and mixed precipitation that we talked about when it's in that middle layer, especially if it's colder in different layers of the atmosphere. So, I already can tell you right now that Wilmington does not fit that mold. They're going to have, it's cold, they're going to have cold rain, but Wilmington is not it. I look up here and I say, okay, I've got 2 places. Common sense tells me this is the mountains. This is the city. But I also look at the temperatures. Where is it most likely going to snow? Boone, North Carolina. And I think that's going to take us to the end of our first video.
Temperatures are below 32.